Yeah, the Lord gave me a phrase. He said, when you put your earthly identity, ethnicity, your earthly ethnicity above your heavenly identity, it is ethnic idolatry. And the Lord, some of the issue is that, and I use this phrase, you never put your complexion above your convictions, your Christianity, above your, the message above melanin. You don't put your pigment above biblical principles. And it's becoming something where, Dr. Tony Evans talks about adjectival Christianity. And he speaks about anytime you put something in front of Christian or Christianity, it changes the premise and the focus of the trajectory. So you never put, too many people today are falling into this notion of placing their ethnicity above biblical principles. And because of that, we're dealing with an epidemic of ethnic idolatry, where we're worshiping our own image. And Romans 1 says we turn the creature, we worship the creature over the creator. And that can happen by looking in the own mirror of our own preferred ethnicities and colors and cultures. And I believe the Lord is really breaking that up this hour, and we're watching the Lord dissolve those things. And some of those things are deceptions of ethnic superiority, or even notions of ethnic inferiority.
There's a reason why Black Christians are stuck in the same place they were in 50, 60, 70 years ago. Most Black Christians are in that position. And when I say Black Christian, it's the Christians who value their Blackness more than their Christianity. It's the Christians that view themselves through an ethnic lens. They view themselves through a Black lens instead of a biblical one. And some people may say, well, you're just assimilating to whiteness. Why is whiteness associated with biblical values and biblical principles? When did that happen? So you're telling me that if I stand on biblical principles, if I believe in biblical values, then that is whiteness. So what is Blackness? Anti-biblical, anti-God values. And that is what we have seen in the Black community, especially by these church plant pastors that push the notion of Blackness, that push the notion of Black liberation, that push the notion of ethnic idolatry consistently. That's why Black Christians can't get off the Democratic plantation, because the Democratic church plants like Jamal Bryant and this pastor I'm going to show you here, they don't want you to get off the Democratic plantation, because it benefits them to keep you in a permanent state of victimhood. It benefits them to keep you agitated and aggravated and always feeling like you are oppressed. That's not biblical at all. None of these things that these people say behind the pulpit are biblical. But that is the point. They're not using the Bible to justify what they're saying. They're using the Bible to twist it in order to make you feel okay in your state, to make you feel okay being oppressed, to make you feel okay that's all the white man's fault. Now they have a new boogeyman, Elon Musk. Elon Musk is now the boogeyman for these church plant pastors to use to keep Black people angry and upset.
You will be maligned, you will be misquoted, you will be undermined, but you will make an impact. I don't know where you are, but somebody just got the confirmation you needed. They hate to see you coming. When you walk in the room, order has got to fall in place. You are a disruptor. You don't subscribe to the status quo. You believe you got to march to the beat of a different drum. You are a disruptor. You ain't gonna laugh with nothing funny. You ain't gonna scratch with nothing itching. You ain't gonna run with nobody chasing after you. You ain't no tap dancer. You ain't no sellout. You ain't gonna forfeit your inheritance. You are a disruptor. I am not intimidated by your title, by your background, by your pedigree. I don't care what you got in the bank. I am a disruptor. Wrong is wrong. Is wrong is wrong. I am a disruptor. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing. I never voted for Elon Musk. I am a disruptor. It's out of order to shut the Department of Education. I'm a disruptor. We supposed to take care of our veterans. I am a disruptor. We're supposed to take care of those in third world nations. I am a disruptor. And if you don't believe that, ask the demons assigned to me. They thought they were gonna kill me years ago, but I am a disruptor.
Wow, there was so much there. First of all, it is not the duty of the federal government to take care of other nations. It is not the duty of the federal government to provide for all the needs of these countries like they did through USAID and all the things they were paying for. That's not the responsibility. The responsibility of the federal government is to American citizens. Jamal Bryant, why don't you talk about how you want to be a disruptor to stop illegal immigration? Oh, you can't because you are a Democratic church plant. Jamal Bryant, as a Christian pastor, how about you talk about you want to disrupt this agenda of the LGBTQ to destroy traditional family, to destroy the institution of marriage that God has ordained in his Bible? You can't do that. You are a church plant in the Democratic Party. Jamal Bryant, how about you talk about how you want to stop the dysfunction in the black community when it comes to people not being able to read and write, when it comes to broken families, when it comes to homes without fathers in them for the most part, when it comes to young men being raised in these single parent households and growing up angry and upset and are being feminized. How about you speak to that, Jamal Bryant? No, you can't speak to that because you are a Democratic church plant. That's what you are. You are a Democratic church plant used to get these people, mostly women, all ginned up, all gassed up, all excited, and nothing changes in their life. But that's the cycle. See, that's the game you play. You give them a little bit, they get all excited, and then they go out into the world because you don't give them anything or you don't lead them to the real word that they can feed on and grow and become strong, and they go out into the real world and the devil bash them upside their head. And what demons have been assigned to you, Jamal Bryant? You open the door to a lot of these demons that have operated in your life, sir. The same one that went and sat with a gay pastor and apologized on behalf of the black church. The same person that said you want to go weed at new birth. The same person that we need to rethink about how we talk about sex with older women. You said that, sir. Man, these church plant pastors are the ones that are keeping black people on the Democratic plantation.
Either you're going to stand for justice or you'll be known to be for injustice. Either you'll be known to stand for equality and equity or you'll be known to stand for inequality and inequity. It's becoming very clear. You'll either be Target, the store Target, or Costco. Either you're funding the plantation or you are defunding the plantation. Your looks concern me. Maybe I need to educate. Let me say this, brothers and sisters. The agenda of the ultra-conservative right is well financed. It's well financed. And it's financed by corporate citizens, corporations, people with money. And so when you look at entities like the Heritage Foundation that published Project 2025, you have to look at who donates to it. because they would not have the ability to develop, print, publish, and execute such an agenda if it was not well funded. And it's really counterproductive to be praying about God to deliver you while you shop with the oppressor. It's quiet. Let me. So knowing who's funding the oppressive agenda is necessary, but because I may be funding the sponsors of the plantation. Well, you said plantation. Well, I'm suggesting this based on fact. The only reason we left the plantation is because a few laws changed, not hearts. It was a change of some laws. And those few laws has kept us off the plantation. You understand? But now those laws, according to Project 2025, are being removed. One must ask why. The answer is clear. Because the little progress that you've made is too much. And if these laws remain in place, you're going to continue making progress. So then we'll change the laws. Well, if we're going to, brothers and sisters, avoid going backwards, and I've heard y'all chanting, we ain't going back, we ain't going back. Well, let me just say this to you. If you keep funding the oppressor, you are paying for your way to go back, like you're building the bus ride. Now is the time for a prophetic word that will first of all shake the people, wake the people, and then challenge the people to stand with God, because if we don't stand with God, God can't stand with us. This is a serious time. We got to wake people up and make us aware of what has happened to us over the last 50 years that's gotten us back into this predicament. Is there anybody here thought we were through with this? Like, I thought we were really going forward. Okay, maybe you had a telescope to look into the future. I didn't. I thought that, we were going to be okay. I never thought we'd be without voting rights again. Like, I thought the EEOC was going to be here. I did not think that over half the nation would vote against diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I sure didn't think over half the nation would elect a tyrant, a dictator, and a criminal, and a thug that's been convicted of 35 felonies. I never thought that. Okay, maybe y'all had a better idea. I just thought that America was a little bit... I thought that enough folk had died, had been beaten and lynched. I thought that enough of that had happened that we'd be beyond this. I didn't think that we would desecrate their suffering and say something. I thought that after all we've seen and all we've gone through, that we were at least beyond where we are now. I didn't think we were going to have to march again to vote. I thought Fannie Lou Hamer and Medgar Evers getting shot in his driveway, I thought all of that had been enough for us to have voting rights forever. I thought the majority of the nation was good with that. And I sure didn't think some black folk were going to vote against themselves.
And that's why most black Christians will never get off the Democratic plantation. They will never get off the Democratic plantation because they're constantly listening to guys like him and Jamal Bryant. They're constantly listening to messages that reinforce the victim mentality, that reinforce that black people, you are inherently oppressed because you don't have agency, you don't have the ability to think for yourself, you're going to be permanent wards of the state, you're going to have to bow down because white people are greater than you, because they have ethnic superiority to you, so therefore because of your black skin, because of your ethnicity, you're always going to be second-class citizens, so therefore you got to rely upon the benevolence of white people, the same white people you say are oppressing you. You got to rely upon their benevolence in order to achieve things in life. Not because you have agency because Jesus lives inside of you. Not because you have agency because you are made in the image of God. Not you have agency because you have Christian identity. None of that stuff doesn't matter because your skin is black. You're labeled as black in America. Therefore, that automatically regulates you to second-class citizenship. It doesn't matter what you believe. You're always going to be a second-class citizen unless the federal government and the Democratic Party does some stuff for you. How does that look in the eyes of God? How does that smell to the nostrils of God? That is an insult. That is an insult to the blood of Jesus. That is an insult to a God that sent his son to die on everyone's behalf, to demonstrate the kingdom of God, to destroy the works of the devil. But yet, because of this poisonous, demonic, Marxist black liberation theology that is prevalent within most black churches, most black Christians will never have their eyes open. I pray for a day when we see a change. When we see a change and people like this are no longer preaching this filth in the pulpit. We're not victims. We are empowered for greatness.